much for joining us today. My name is Rachel. I'm the marketing manager here at Bravo. I'm joined today by Christy and Tally, Kat. We've got Kathleen back there with us for some moral support too. We're going to be running through our February 2024 product release, what we've got coming up. That'll be live in just a few days, and then what's on the docket for later on this year. And we'll be bouncing back and forth between like live demo of product and our little slideshow here. We are recording this meeting so we can send it out to y'all after, and we post these on our website, so you've always got access to them, so you don't have to take furious notes. We'll have it all recorded for you. And we love participation, so if you've got any questions, comments, feel free to pop them in the chat. We'll keep an eye on it and address them as we run through. Alrighty. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Christy to run through, let's see. Boop. Yeah, so where you have today, new point of sale features, new point of sale chat, some PawnMaster favorite features that are coming out, mobile pawn Storefinder, what's coming, and then a Q&A. Anyone want to add anything before I jump in?
No. Nothing here.
Awesome. Alrighty. Then we'll start with point of sale. Christy?
All right. So this, like in my mind, is really the most highly rated customer suggestion release. We've focused really hard on customer suggestions for the past few releases, but these are really the ones that have been asked for over and over and over again. And so we're super excited to deliver them to you. The first one is a multi-payment option. So a lot of users are familiar with going into the customer profile and doing mock redeem and mock renewal and getting all the work together and figuring out, you know, my customer has $150. How can I apply it to all these loans? And you get it figured out, and then you have to redo everything again. So no more. That is officially over. You will be able to redeem, to renew, and to make payments all in one location at the same time. So this is a big one. Got to make sure that we actually demo this to you live. So I'm going to go ahead and take control, sharing my screen if I can.
We have a question so far, and we'll repeat this a million times because it's the most important, which is, when is the release?
Yes. So the release is currently scheduled for the night of the 19th. So that means on the 20th, when you wake up, you will have a new version of Bravo waiting for you. I apologize. I might be doing some coughing. I'm going to do my best here. Can you guys all see my screen?
No, not
yet. Okay, let me go back and try to reshare.
Do you have like permission to share? I made you a co-host.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
It's loading. Okay.
Okay. So here we are. We're going to pull up our customer and search. And then that's going to select, move us right into the transaction screen. And then you'll see about halfway down the menu option screen, there's going to be this new button called multi-payment. So go ahead and select that. And then you can select from the redemption, performing a renewal. You can do some other type of payment. So if we select that, it's going to pop up a new box. Say I want to do multi-extensions to these two loans. Select select extension options down here from below, and then it will load up those two. Say, and then all of the same buttons are available to you. If we just want to apply, say, 2 months worth, we can do that. Again, you can hit the pencil, select from there for each individual one, and then select OK. And we've got all of the transactions loaded up. And
so
now
this is awesome for everybody that's been asking for the mock redeem, mock renew screen to be a transaction screen as well. So that is sort of replacing that mock redeem, mock renew, because now you can actually add these into the transaction.
And then if the customer needs to take off, you can go ahead and suspend the transaction. It's just going to let me know that one of my items might change, right? Loan interests on one of my loans are going to change. So it's only going to save until store close today in this particular transaction. So a couple things to note is this is going to be a security bit enabled. So you will either decide whether you want to allow or not allow stores to do this. And we are going to default everybody's store to allowed in the pawn industry for this update.
Christy, we did have a question. They want to know, when is this going to be available?
Yeah, so the release happens the night of the 19th. So I believe that is the 19th Monday night, I believe. Anyone? And then it will be available to you the morning of the 20th. Question. Okay. Next up, I know it's confusing now, right? You're back to sharing screen.
Everyone see?
Yeah, the next one. Perfect. So we have a new manager approval. So before, Bravo did pop up and warn you if you put in a duplicate serial number, but we understand a lot of times transactions are going crazy. There's a line out the door, employees are doing a million things. They just hit okay and they move along. Well, there really shouldn't be duplicate serial numbers. So we had been asked to go ahead and create an exception for this. So you will be notified immediately still when it happens. It will require a manager approval to proceed. And then of course, like all exceptions, you will have a report and record available for this particular exception. There is also a security bit that is going to be associated with this, and it's going to be allowed, not allowed, or manager approval. On the release, all stores will be set to allowed and all workstations will be set to always on. So if you need to make any adjustments, you will be able to do that in the system configuration, and it's called duplicate serial. So you can just search duplicate serial and then allow or not allow or set manager approval for this. All right, next up is probably the single most requested item since I've been at Bravo, and that is reactivating layaways. So just like you can reactivate pawn transactions, you will now be able to reactivate layaways and decide whether or not you want to do a payment or just undo the expiration. We're going to do automatic validation checks, which means if you're a store that when you default a layaway and you put it to a store credit, if that store credit has already been used or maybe it has expired, you will have to go back through the manual route and put this item back on layaway. But provided that everything is there and, you know, maybe it was like 2 items on the layaway, as long as both items are still there, you will be able to really easily reactivate that item. So we'll go ahead and show you how simple that is. So if you want to unshare Rachel, I'll share. Excellent. Okay. So back in Bravo. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up our customer, Jane A. Doe. Oh, no, it's this Jane A. And then we're going to go ahead down here to expired transactions. And you can sort by type by selecting the pin at the top. And we're going to select expired layaway. And you'll see I've got one that's already in shrink, so I wouldn't be able to reactivate that one, but I do have one sitting here in unpriced. This is always going to pop up and let you know that a layaway number is found but not active. Just simply choose OK. And then you'll notice now we have a Reactivate Layaway option available. And then you can choose, again, just to undo the expiration, which will not require a payment, or you can select payment and undo the expiration while taking in, say, a $300 payment today. So if we try to do the other one, go back. It's letting us know that it can't be reactivated because the item is no longer in inventory. All right, so I'm going to stop share. That one also has a security bit for the store, the workstation, and the employee. And those will be set to allowed, not allowed, or manager approval. On release, we are going to default the store to allowed for all pawnbrokers, the workstation allowed, and then we are going to allow it for all of your manager groups for the employees. So you can go ahead and enable any additional employees, and that security bit is called Reactivate Layaway. All right, up next, unless there's any questions, is the ability cash drawers. So we wanted to make it easier to open and close the cash drawer in your store. So we've automated some of that for you, where it looks like you're almost working directly from the safe. So once you've opened your store and opened your now general till, you'll be able just to get to work. There's no more transferring between till to safe to bank. It'll just go right to the bank from the till. So it's really removing an extra step out. If you've already have your tills configured, you can reconfigure them. You'll just want to call into our support department, and tills can be kind of tricky, and we will help step you through that. Sorry. I'm not going to demo that one. That one's a little bit more intricate, but like I said, if you want to switch it up to make it so you just are working straight out of basically your till, getting rid of, or rather you're safe getting rid of the till, call us up and we'll help step you through that type of transaction. Yeah, that's it on that one, unless there's any questions. Next up is the digital scale. So now in Bravo, instead of having to type in the metal weight, you can simply put the metal on the scale and Bravo will automatically calculate that for you. I'll go ahead and show you where in Bravo that's located. There we go. Okay, so we'll go into jewelry. And right up here at the top, you're going to see scale. So instead of now highlighting and putting in 10 grams, you would simply put your weight on the scale and choose the scale button. I don't have the scale button, but at that point, it's going to go ahead and bring in the weight. So that is a back office option. So you will need to call into Bravo to have one of our team members enable that for you and get you that plugin. It is included in all of the Bravo packages except for the very first, I believe, starter package. So it should come with every package but the starter. And that's it for that. All right, so next up, we are now displaying the parent category next to an item. So as you look, we had typed in to select a category, started to type in receivers. Well, there's multiple different type of receivers. And the worst thing that could happen is that an employee is bringing in a firearm related receiver, but accidentally selects a category for like home audio. So to ensure that doesn't happen, we now display the parent category next to the item. So now when your employees are looking to bring in a new receiver firearm, they can clearly see that the parent category firearm is next to it. So no more mistakes. And the magic of this is just going to happen. Nothing extra for you all to do. Next up is one of our Bravo Reporting Pro reports called the Bravo Business Dashboard. We have made this report now available to all Bravo users. So you no longer have to have Bravo Reporting Pro to get your hands on the Bravo Business Dashboard report, which is awesome. It is a report that gives you really a snapshot of all of the business transactions that have happened for the day. And because we snapshot data, you could run this report at any time and you will have those accurate numbers to look back at. So I'm going to go ahead and show you where that report is located next. All right, so we're just going to come in here to reports. And then it's going to be in your closing report. And here it is, the Bravo Business Dashboard. So again, you can highlight it and select preview or just double click, and the report date to choose from are all going to pop up. Select your date, choose OK. And the magic happened earlier today. We are, oh, there we go. So we are on a staging system, and it's about kind of close to that time where our techs are busy writing in here. So, so as you can see, here we go. We're looking at the day, the week to date, the month to date, as well as the year to date on multiple different KPIs. So this report is all available for everybody. Now, there is going to be a security bit, so maybe you don't want every employee, of course, looking at this report. It's maybe just for managers. So it will be defaulted to allowed for all pawn stores. Workstations are all going to be set to allowed. And then when we will run a script for just managers to be able to access it come release day morning, again, which is the 20th. All right, moving along to some PawnMaster users. So if you are coming over from PawnMaster, we're going to be including sales history during the conversion, as well as the ability to use your Dex printers. So we understand, in fact, one of our core values is to be a force of good. We don't want used hardware to end up in the trash or, for you to have to buy new hardware. So it was important to us to go ahead and get this printer going with Bravo. So as of the 19th or morning of 20th, that will now be available to you as well. All right, next up, we are super excited to be releasing our AI chat integration, which is named Judy. So Judy is your first line of defense for all of your questions and will help guide you to answers. You can ask Judy for videos or links or how-to directions, or she will even just type out different directions within the window here. So it is on-demand support for you, for your employees, and it is a great way to get new employees comfortable. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys your first look of Judy. All right. So you'll notice here we've got a new button at the bottom that's called AI Chat. So when you select AI Chat, it's going to bring up Judy. And Judy already knows based on who is signed into the program, who you are. So she's going to give you her beautiful greeting. Hey, Christy, it's Judy. Do you have any specific questions for me? So let's go like how, type in here. How do I add a new customer? And then hit enter. And then Judy will come up with your answer. And giving me additional guidance. So the cool thing about this screen, as opposed to going into the Solution Center, is you can minimize it and maximize it really easily. So that's pretty nice. And then it's also responsive if you want a bigger screen. If you're like me, you need to put those glasses on to read, you can just make it bigger now instead. So that is Judy. She is, we've been working on training her for a while. If you guys happen to find any answers that she's not giving you right, you can go ahead and submit as send us tickets so we can get that cleared up. Judy's only as good as we train her. We've been hard at work training her for quite a few months now. But as you all know, like ChatGPT has been around for years and still getting improved. So always be feeding and giving it new information. So Judy will be ready. Nothing for you to do when you open up Bravo the morning of the 20th. That button will just be there. So get in there and start talking to Judy. She is very conversational. So she's not going to tell you the answer to who's going to win the Super Bowl though. Cat tried. Okay, next up is super exciting. We've been hard at work on this and a lot of exciting marketing initiatives to follow up. So we have added something that's called Storefinder into Mobile Pawn. And what this is going to do is connect potential customers to you. So we want to drive business into your store. And so the way that it is, actually, I'll show you the way that it's going to work. Let's go to the next slide, if you wouldn't mind, Rachel, and go ahead and hit play on this. So customer, we're going to be running ads. Sorry, would you pause it for just a moment? I said that too quickly. So customers will find Mobile Pawn through some of the marketing efforts that we're going to be doing. And when they download it, the goal is to find a store. So they'll come in here, they'll select find a store, and they can either let the app geolocate them by selecting use my current location, or if the consumer isn't comfortable with that, they can just enter in their zip code, as you can see was just done here. Okay, now press play. Once they've entered their zip code in search, you can see the closest store is 21.7 miles away. It's Smart Pawn. They're going to hit join store and go back one. All right, let's start that video over again. So join the store. Yep, go ahead. There we go. It's going. Here we go, putting in the zip code, search. There's a store, you can either view it, look at it, or select join store. When you select join store, it's going to then prompt the consumer for their first name, for their last name, for their email, and then finally for their mobile number. Once they've entered in all of that information, Bravo is going to two-factor authenticate them to make sure they are who they say they are, and to make sure that nobody spams us a bunch. Because what happens after this account gets created, so this is the two-factor authentication that's happening now, we are going to enter this customer directly into your database so that they can shop your store. If you've got a company branded website, now they're shopping your company branded website. If they have a question for you, now they can chat with you and ask you questions. If they want to bring you an item that maybe they want to get a loan on, or they want to sell to you, they can do the sell, borrow, quote option. and get a transaction started without ever having actually visited your location. So we are super excited about this. Tally, do you want to tell them about some upcoming marketing initiatives? The special one, maybe? Do you want me to go there?
Yeah, I'm happy to go there. So we are really trying to make Mobile Pawn something really special beyond payments. And we know that payments is the primary thing that Mobile Pawn is currently used for, but we believe in big things for Mobile Pawn, and we believe that we can really make an impact on driving new traffic into your store that you've never seen before, that maybe hasn't been in a pawn shop before, that's too intimidated to step foot in your store, but still wants to shop your awesome inventory. And so we have invested in some really awesome new marketing. The first, and you might have seen it back in November, is a partnership with Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars. We are using his social media network to start blasting this into the universe. He has millions of followers. A lot of them are both pawn shop operators and pawn shop enthusiasts located in the United States who travel around and meet him on the road, watch the show, and are just generally interested in what pawn shops are, who they serve, what kind of things that they have in store. And so you heard it here first. We haven't announced that yet, but we've got a handful of people in here. And so as a big thank you for being here and being a part of today's webinar, we have huge dreams for the reach that Mobile Pawn can have. And we believe that we can just make the experience for a consumer better. And so that is coming soon. And you'll probably see it. We will be extra loud about that one. In addition to that, we are continuing to market more on a one-to-one level using various types of outreach to try to increase downloads and utilization of the app. And we've been hugely successful in this over the past 90 days. Our downloads have increased greatly. And what's important is not just that people are downloading, but they're also activating the app. We've got really high activation rate, and then that they're using the app and interacting with the stores that have the app. So if you're not a current Mobile Pawn customer, I highly recommend giving it a look, giving it a listen. If you're somebody that doesn't think mobile payments is applicable to your type of customers, or if you're in a location that you don't think customers would necessarily need remote payments, this is something that's going to drive net new customers into your store. And one of the things that we hear the most is attracting new generations of people into pawn shops is becoming more challenging. Younger generations of your customers are glued to their phones. And so we are going to continue to expand the app beyond payments in a really meaningful way, not just for you, but also consumers. Kathleen, did I miss anything there?
No, I mean, it's big news. And so these two things together, like just to paint a picture, in a couple of weeks, you know, on Pawn Stars channel or Rick Harrison's Gold and Silver, millions of people are going to hear the name of Mobile Pawn. He does a great job of being really enthusiastic and explaining how it works and the value of it to consumers. So you imagine millions of people are hearing that message. If even a fraction of them go to, you know, their Apple or Android store and download it, there's literally hundreds of thousands of people could be downloading that app, and then Storefinders there. And so they're geolocating or putting in their zip code, and they're going to be looking for pawn shops in their area. We are being strategic in when we're releasing those videos from Rick and Pawn Stars with Storefinder. Those two things together is a huge, I guess, a huge investment, the way that Bravo is trying to make Mobile Pawn even more beneficial for the users of that app. And all that promotion is free for you as long as you're on the map and you're using Mobile Pawn. So in a couple of weeks, I think there's going to be some game-changing things with the recognition of the app, and then people seeing your actual store name on that list of Storefinder. So it'll be a really powerful combination here coming out in a couple of weeks.
Rachel, I'm going to share one thing real quick. So again, if you're not on Mobile Pawn, now is the time to be on Mobile Pawn. You don't want to miss out. I just want to show you guys visually what our current Mobile Pawn map looks like. Every one of these green dots is Mobile Pawn users. So they are all over the country, up and down. You definitely want to be on this list. And if you see a state that doesn't have a lot, you definitely want to be on the list. Like, you want to be the one to break into it. For a long time, it was like first come, first serve. Like, you were the guy that had Mobile Pawn. You want to be the one to introduce it to your community. If you want to be the one, that makes you the leader. The leader usually wins. Okay, Rach, I think we got one last item, which is the coming soon.
I did just want to mention something about what's coming soon. We have doubled the size of our development team over the last 8 months. And so if you haven't noticed, we've increased the cadence of releases and release meetings and what we're able to push out to all of you, whether it's Mobile Pawn, point of sale, updated KPI reports, and all of the new stuff that we've come out with just since the beginning of the year. So we're really proud to be offering faster releases with more functionality and revenue driving features for you. And so here's what's coming soon.
So first up, you will be able to bypass some of the stone, diamond and stone information, the jewelry estimator, which essentially just speeds up that transaction. As of today, you can do it by selecting, I believe it's scrap. I worked in a pawn shop myself. Customers don't like their items to be described as scrap. So moving forward, you'll be able to still use the jewelry estimator, putting in the weight, the carat, the color, getting your, gold price, and then you can just, you'll be able to just to type in any additional stones. So that is coming, which, will be speedy for those that are looking for more speed in transaction. We also will be including bubble counters on the pending transactions. So pending transactions are transactions like maybe a loan or a layaway that's overdue but hasn't quite expired. So again, we get it. Employees in your shop are busy and they're doing a bunch of things. There's a line out the door. They got the customer. They're just trying to get them in and out. They, don't think to click on that button to see if anything's overdue. So now on the left hand of the screen under pending transactions, we're going to display a bubble count. And then we'll, so it will give your employees extra effort to, go ahead and look. And then when they do open up that window, any loans that are overdue or layaways that are overdue will be highlighted in a different color. So you'll be able to easily select them and make sure you're getting all the payments that you need to from your customers. We will be auto updating the spot price, as in pushing it into your system. We automatically update it 4 times a day now, but we don't automatically put it into your system. We don't apply it to you. So you will be able to choose whether or not you want us to do that moving forward, so you won't have to manually update it as you want. And then finally, we're looking at making it easier for you to edit the loan principal, just making it a little bit speedier. So those are some of the items that are coming up.
One more thing that's not on this list that's also coming with some of the jewelry updates is support for lab-grown diamonds. I know that that's a commonly requested feature. We're rolling those into the updated jewelry estimator updates that we're doing in the upcoming release.
Alrighty, and with that, we're done with everything we have to run through. KO, anything you want to add?
You know what, I just, we have an attendee who's asking a few questions I thought might just be easier to answer verbally than going back and forth, might be helpful for other people. So, Lur, Yes, we have automated e-commerce. So all the inventory that's in your point of sale, you can choose to list it across multiple marketplaces automatically. So your product descriptions and prices and any photos you've taken would list automatically. If it sells online, you'll be notified so you won't sell it to an in-store customer. If you sell it in-store, it'll automatically take that listing offline. So there's no duplicate work, no manual entry, and you won't be double selling anything. If you want to just put a yes in the chat, if that answered your question, or if there's any other ones, go ahead and we can get those answered for you as well. Okay, cool.
Awesome. Awesome.
And with that, if we don't have any other questions, I just want to thank you all for joining us today. As I mentioned earlier, we recorded this, so we have a couple other questions in the chat. If we want to dive into those.
Ryan, if you're talking about Facebook Marketplace is highly on the radar. We actually just hired somebody that has a ton of familiarity with Facebook Marketplace. I think we found a solution to be able to post directly from our Google feed that we currently already have. And so that's an initiative that we're working on. It's not dependent necessarily on a Bravo release. So hopefully we'll have an update on that soon, but it's looking really good.
Awesome. Alrighty. Well, if y'all think of any more questions, feel free to reach out. We're always happy to address them. Thank you all so much for joining us today. As I mentioned earlier, we've recorded this, so we will send it to you all later on. And we're just really excited for this release next week, and we hope y'all are too after seeing all this. But thank you for joining us, and hope you have a great evening. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.